On the 3rd of March, I decided to do my first walk from this book that I bought late last year. The walk started in the coastal town of Hornsey, before going along one side of the Hornsey Mere, apparently Yorkshire's largest freshwater lake. From there, going through farmland, eventually ending up on the old Hornsey railway line, following the line back into Hornsey and to where the walk started. I did not film the start of the walk through the streets of Hornsey as it was quite busy, instead starting alongside the Mere. It was a very windy day and I thought about not filming anything at all after these first shots. The camera really struggled when zoomed in, both with and without the in-camera stabilisation. I decided to persevere however, but wasn't expecting much in the way of usable footage. Apart from the swans already shown, the Mere had other wildlife on show as well, such as these tufted ducks and golden eyes. This was the first time I had ever seen any. Shame it was too windy to get any decent footage. However, here's a still from the footage for a slightly better look. There were also 2 cormorants on the lake as well. From here, I carried on into the farmland, and for the next 2 miles was treated to some nice farmland scenery. After that I reached the start of the Wassand estate, where I was greeted with this sign. A short distance from this sign I caught sight of a tree creeper going about its business. These birds search for insects in the bark of trees as they ascend to the top, before flying down to the bottom of a neighbouring tree to repeat the process. I also caught a brief glimpse of this blue tit. It was a lovely day for a walk, and the Wassand estate, like the farmland before it, had nice if unspectacular scenery. Snowdrops were quite plentiful in numbers along certain parts of the walk, as well as daffodils, which also made appearances along the walk as well. Leaving behind the Wassand estate, farm animals were in the fields that lined this section of the pathway. The walk took me through a stud farm, which I opted not to film. But walking along the lane that led away from the farm, I was treated to a sighting of lapwings. They were in a flooded farmer's field. Shortly after I started filming, they took off and noisily flew around until they disappeared from view. I carried on along the road and very soon saw 2 roe deer, which seemed spooked by me despite being a long way away. This sighting was quickly followed by another roe deer sighting. A short distance later and I was on the Hornsey Railway. Walking along, I noticed several bird boxes of various shapes and sizes in the trees that lined the old railway. There were a few wildlife sightings along the line as well. The first was this blackbird, quickly followed by this chaffinch, and a little further along, this grey squirrel. Despite the constant birdsong going on all around me, I did not see any other wildlife for quite a while until I spotted this wren on a slope at the side of the path. As I filmed, it slowly went out of view, so I sidestepped to keep it in view and went ankle deep into a muddy puddle which I didn't realise was there. After I had finished cursing and shaking off the excess water from my boot and lower leg, I carried on and shortly came upon a tree that had pairs of jackdaws dotted all over the upper branches. It was a little weird seeing this many jackdaws paired off in the same tree like this. As I entered Hornsea, the only wildlife I saw was this lone wood pigeon, which took off as soon as it realised I was walking behind it. The end of the walk took me past the old Hornsea railway station, a lovely building which is now a Grade 2 listed building. I also passed the end or the beginning of the Trans-Pennine Trail, depending on which end you start at, before arriving back at the start point of the walk. I really enjoyed this walk and the wildlife I spotted along the way, and I'm hoping to do more walks from the book in the near future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, ciao for now.